Here. Happy Thursday morning. Right? All right. So we got a lot to talk about today. We've got a beautiful start to the day. We're looking at this sunrise. This is the sun come over the horizon. Absolutely gorgeous look to the sky this morning. Now, it's on the cool side. We're in the 40s, maybe some light jackets, but that's about really all we need for the morning. Once we get into the second half of the day, though, that's when we'll start talking about some more active weather coming our way. By then, we'll be in the mid-70s. So let's get to it. Let's get you out the door. We're going to start off this Facebook Live. Before I open it up to like a bunch of questions, I'm going to pull up your questions over here on the side monitor here. And then I'm going to get into that in a minute. But I want to get you through and try to answer as many questions that I know are going to come before you can even ask them. So here we go, 46 degrees this morning. Look at this dew point. You see this 40-degree dew point right here? This is important. As this rises today, that's going to give us more moisture. That dew point, it measures how much moisture is in the air. The higher that is, the wetter the atmosphere is, and the more fueled with the heat, the more fueled we are for afternoon thunderstorms. Here we go. Let's walk you through it. Futurecast. Through lunchtime, dry, beautiful. High clouds. It's not going to be as gray as what this is showing, but we will start to see some filtered sun, some high clouds filtering in here. Mid-60s, beautiful. Afternoon, mid-70s, still beautiful. But you see that green moving in. Maybe a couple showers. I think our biggest concern is going to be in our southern counties, looking at some storms rolling up from southern Ohio. These storms are just going to be living off of the heat and the moisture, the heat and the humidity of the day. Once the heat is gone, once we drop our numbers down around sunset, 7 to 8 o'clock, these storms fade away. And I do expect a couple of these to get on the strong side. It's definitely possible. But you see how they fade away by 8, 9 o'clock, a lot of us drying out? Numbers are still holding on to about 60 degrees, though, and they should hover around 60 most of the evening and overnight hours. Until this happens. This is midnight. You see these reds and yellows and oranges? That is some heavy rain rolling through overnight. May have some gusty winds with that. Winds gusting, up to, 50, maybe 60 miles per hour. But I think heavy rain and lightning are going to be our biggest concerns overnight between about 10 p.m. and probably 2 a.m. Beyond that, here's 3 a.m. See how it's pulling out of here? Yes, we're still going to have some heavy rain, still going to have some thunderstorms around, probably through the morning drive tomorrow. In all honesty, we're probably still going to have a couple storms around. But the big concern about this, see how quickly we dry out? That's some colder air settling in. Watch the numbers. Watch those 57s and 58s. This is 3 a.m. by what? 4, 5, 6, there's 7 a.m. You see those 40s that have taken over. That's that drier and much colder air settling in. And what's bringing that air in here, drying us out and knocking our numbers down, it's going to be the wind. Midnight, with those storms, with that heavy rain, gusts 30, 40, 50, sustained, widespread gusts, nothing crazy. But after those storms get out of here, look at that brown. That brown, those are 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Just because you're seeing a 50 in Lodi, a 51 in Worcester, and a 52 in Mansfield, that's just at that location the models are picking up. In between those, you could easily get up to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Now, that's after the storms pull out of here. So that's high enough to cause damage. The 58 mile per hour criteria, that's for a severe thunderstorm warning. So if a thunderstorm is creating gusts 58 or higher, so we'll just say 60 miles per hour or higher, the National Weather Service will issue a warning saying that this is a potentially damaging thunderstorm. We're not going to have thunderstorms with this wind. This is just going to be straight line gusts to 60. So that's going to be a little more widespread. You're not going to have the lightning kind of forewarning you on all of that. So we still got to be extremely careful overnight. Trees could come down, debris flying around, power outages, all that comes with strong winds. That's to kick off the day tomorrow. By the evening, no real worries. Things are calmed down, things are cooled down, and definitely dried out. And that by cooling down, I really mean it. 39 by probably Saturday morning. We get back into the upper 50s for Saturday afternoon, but then drop again with another cold front and some rain on Sunday. Monday morning, some snowflakes possible. Slim shot, but possible. And then we get back into the mid-60s by the middle of the week. So that's essentially in a kind of in a nutshell what we're looking for here. So let me show you. Let me pull up some of these questions. I'm sure there's a bunch of questions in here. Yep, got a few. A lot of good mornings. Good morning, guys. Good morning in Sandusky. Linda, good morning. Good morning from Norwalk. Sarah Ann Fannin, good morning. Lorraine, good morning. Jerry, Bedford High School, good morning. Cleveland weather in the house, absolutely. Jimmy Hines, good morning. Get the generator ready, Chris. That's a great statement. Kim from Elyria, good morning. The generators, we're getting into that time of year again where we're going to start talking about with the ground getting wetter. Thankfully, there's no leaves on the trees right now, so there's kind of less in the trees to catch the wind. But hey, it's that time of year with these strong winds out here. We could easily get trees coming down, could take power lines down, and cause some issues. So really got to watch for that. Good morning from Cuyahoga Falls, Andrea. Should we expect any tornado watches? Not necessarily. It's again, we don't issue the watches or warnings. The tornado threat is low. It is very low. Let me pop this on here just so we can show you what we have here. I'm not expecting tornadoes. I think our bigger concern, I can't rule it out, but our bigger concern is just going to be the wind and the rain. I think the flood potential in the early overnight hours, like through midnight, is going to be a big deal. And then the wind damage and power outage potential as we get into the late overnight hour and early Friday morning hours. So, I do expect some damage, but not necessarily tornado damage. Good morning in Mansfield, Youngstown. Good morning, Garfield Heights, Mississippi in the house. Yeah, Mississippi, absolutely. Let me show you this here. Let me see if I can pop this in. Where did that go? Here we go. Our severe weather threat for today. Anytime we've got thunderstorms in the forecast, just general thunderstorms that are talking about heavy rain, gusty winds, no real damage. We're typically not in any of this risk. When we're talking about damaging thunderstorms, here it is. Let me roll this out for us. We're in this isolated range, meaning that a couple of these thunderstorms that pop up could produce damage, could have 60-mile-per-hour winds, could have some hail with them and a lot of lightning. Crazy enough, it doesn't matter how much lightning a thunderstorm has with it. That doesn't make it a severe thunderstorm. It could have one strike or it could have 1,000 strikes. The bigger concern is the wind of near 60 miles per hour, gusting that high, that can bring trees down and cause damage, or the hail over 1 inch in diameter. I don't expect a lot of hail with this, but I do expect a lot of wind. Once you get off towards Nashville, south of Nashville, once you get into Mississippi, Alabama, southwest Tennessee, that's where you've got a lot of what we call shear or twisting with the atmosphere. The winds they're going to change direction from the surface up into the clouds, and that causes the rotation that helps develop and spark those supercells. So yeah, they got to really watch what's going on to the south. A high that pink out there, that's pretty rare to get that color popping up on the map. So they're going to watch that very closely. For us, we're just talking about an isolated storm or two getting on the strong to potentially damaging side. Let me take you through the Futurecast one more time to show you where we are. This is our latest update here. Brings us into the, there's lunchtime, mid-60s, or at least low 60s. I think a lot of us are going to hit the mid-60s with mid-70s for highs today. 70 to 75 degrees. Now here are the thunderstorms rolling in here. Check it out. As far as damage with this line, not likely. It's possible. Isolated storms could get strong enough to become damaging, but I still think this is more or less just some downpours, and that's going to limit our heating for the day. As we get into the overnight hours, there it is. That's that line between 10 and about 2. That's when we're going to be watching all of this try to roll on through here. After that pulls through, here's the low out here, southeast Illinois, southwest Indiana. That low rolls right on up through, and that gives us that powerful wind. You know, I love how great everybody is here. Kim responding to Lyndon, Mississippi, telling her to stay safe. That's great. That's good stuff. That's how we get through this stuff. Community support. Good morning, Kim. Thanks for posting that. Thanks for sharing that, taking the time to share that. If you guys have any questions about our local forecast, then go ahead. Send it on in here. Send it. I'd love to answer them. Susan just posted greetings from Ashland, Ohio. The wind/rain combo equals potential for uprooted, downed trees. Yes, absolutely. Why does it always seem to happen at night? Well, so that's a good question. Essentially, why it happens at night, typically during the days. Let's see if we can rewind this to this afternoon, and we'll head down south. You see how these storms right here, you see how they're developing kind of in discrete little cells out here? You get an individual storm like that. That gives you very focused and localized damage. When we get into the overnight hours, watch how this kind of develops. You're already seeing it back out here towards the Mississippi River through the afternoon. Watch how it all kind of develops into like clusters of storms. How it's less organized. It's more or less, squall lines and widespread thunderstorms. As that happens, the storms aren't necessarily tornadic. They're more like straight line wind and downburst kind of oriented, meaning that those winds along the leading edge of these clusters of thunderstorms, they sort of line up. Let me get a little drawing tool here. So the wind along the leading edge of this will line up and it pushes out, and it's that colder air aloft up into the clouds that will kind of pull down and then push out and gust along that leading edge. So we get the widespread heavy rain and then those gusty winds, and that can help cause those uprooted trees and the power outages. Usually during the day there's a little too much heat for them, and they form in discrete cells. At night you get more widespread clusters. Morning from Valley City. Ashley, good morning. Andrea, you are 100% welcome. You are very welcome. How will Valley City, Medina be impacted tonight? Very similar to the whole region. This isn't just going to be a couple little pockets here. This is going to be let me pull back out here and show you where we are. I'll walk you through because there are a few more other people that have just kind of jumped in here. I want to take you through the future cast for the day today. Here's 4 o'clock. We've got a couple of those storms. Now, these are going to be discrete, kind of what we're talking about with the daytime, with the heating. You're going to get a couple storms that pop up, and they could be on the strong side. And then overnight tonight, we get more of the widespread stuff rolling in here. So as far as Medina is concerned, I'd plan on some brief downpours during the afternoon, a lot of heat, and then those thunderstorms roll through, followed by overnight tonight. Everybody gets in on that widespread heavy rain between about 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., and then fading away between 2 and 6 as those winds really, really pick up. Numbers drop from near 60 at about 3 or 4 in the morning into the 40s by sunrise. So a quick drop in temperatures, and then we stay on the cool side through the day. All right, so with that, I'm going to one more time show you the wind and then wrap this Facebook Live up, and feel free to share this everywhere and get this information out. Wind, 1 a.m. with the widespread heavy rain, not a major concern. A couple gusts here and there, yes, but it's after the storms pull out that wind really starts cranking as that colder air settles in here. Winds gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's enough for trees to come down. Debris, patio, furniture. I know it's been beautiful these last couple of days, and it's going to be beautiful a majority of today. But if you got stuff trying to pull out your grills on the patios just yet, thinking you'll just kind of secure them down eventually, do it before tonight. Otherwise, they're going to blow around and off the decks, off the patios. Should we be taking our umbrellas into work in Boston Heights, getting out at 5:30? Andrea, yep. Absolutely. We've got rain rolling in. So that timeline right there just kind of showed you the timing with all of it. So before you get out of work, we're probably going to have some rain. Better to have that umbrella with you and not need it than need it and not have it. We'll need the umbrellas again Sunday with a few more rain showers, maybe a little bit of snow early Monday, and then we slowly warm it back up through the middle of next week. All right, it's 7:45 right now. If you're watching this live, thank you so much. Feel free to share it, like it, comment it. I'll still be watching this and can answer some questions, but I think if you watch the video, I've got just about every question answered as much as possible. We talked tornadoes, we talked a slim shot at hail. The big concern is going to be wind and then the heavy rain before that wind. So, yeah, stay safe tonight. And if you get any reports, feel free to let us know. Thanks a lot, guys.